Athletes are healing faster than ever. Injuries that used to end careers are being treated in weeks, tendons, ligaments, muscle tissue, all repairing at a speed that was not possible before. The secret is peptides, specific ones, used correctly. In this video, I will tell you everything. The best peptides for performance and injury repair. Why injuries are different. This changes everything, and most people skip it. Peptides for performance and peptides for injury repair are not the same conversation. Different goals, compounds, and mechanisms. Performance peptides focus on growth hormone, IGF-1, muscle building, fat loss, recovery speed between training sessions. Injury repair peptides focus on something else entirely. Blood vessel growth, tissue regeneration, collagen synthesis, cell migration directly to the damaged site. And here is why that distinction matters. Tendons and ligaments have very poor blood supply. Your knee meniscus, your Achilles tendon, and rotator cuff. These areas get minimal blood flow naturally. Minimal blood flow means minimal healing signals reaching the injury. That is why tendon injuries take so long. That is why some never fully heal. The best injury peptides fix that problem directly. They grow new blood vessels to areas that barely had any. They deliver healing signals where your body struggles to send them. That is the mechanism. That is why athletes are obsessed. The most powerful healing peptide. Start here, every time. BPC 157 stands for Body Protective Compound, 15 amino acids, produced naturally in your own gastric juices. Your body already makes it. Synthetic BPC 157 just massively amplifies what is already there. A 2025 systematic review published in PMC analyzed 36 studies on BPC 157 spanning 1993 to 2024. The findings were consistent. BPC 157 enhanced growth factor expression, reduced inflammatory cytokines, improved structural and biomechanical outcomes in muscle, tendon, ligament, and bone injury models. 36 studies, consistent results. The mechanism is angiogenesis. It activates VEGF, that is vascular endothelial growth factor. It grows brand new blood vessels directly to the injury site. Blood flow increases. Nutrients flood in. Healing signals arrive. The body finally does its job. One human clinical study showed 7 out of 12 patients with chronic knee pain experienced relief lasting over 6 months. From a single BPC 157 injection, 1 injection, 6 months of relief. Site injection matters. Inject close to the injury. The compound concentrates disproportionately in that area, maximizes the local healing effect. Protocol: 6 weeks maximum per cycle, then stop. Continuous use is where the risks start building. BPC 157 is the starting point for injury repair. Everything else builds on top of it. The systemic healer BPC 157 heals locally. TB 500 heals everywhere. TB 500 is the synthetic version of thymosin beta-4, a naturally occurring peptide present in almost every cell in your body right now. And it works differently from BPC 157. TB 500 regulates actin. Actin is a structural protein essential for cell shape and movement. By regulating actin polymerization, it controls how cells migrate during wound healing. Repair cells move faster. They reach the damaged site more efficiently. Healing accelerates. A 2022 review in Frontiers in Immunology confirmed thymosin beta-4 enhances cellular migration, reduces inflammation, supports tissue regeneration across multiple tissue types. Skin, muscle, tendon, ligament all respond. Stack TB 500 with BPC 157 and the effect multiplies. BPC 157 grows blood vessels to the injury. TB 500 sends repair cells through those vessels. 2 different mechanisms, 1 shared goal. That is the Wolverine stack. The most used injury protocol in performance athletics right now. Protocol. Same as BPC 157, 6 weeks maximum. Site injection preferred? Systemic effect still occurs. Nagging shoulder injury, chronic knee pain, slow healing muscle tear. This stack addresses all of it. The one nobody talks about. Most people know BPC 157. Most people know TB 500. Almost nobody talks about GHK-Cu. That is a mistake. GHK-Cu is the copper peptide, naturally produced in your liver. Levels decline significantly as you age. By the time most people are using peptides, their GHK-Cu levels are already low. Here's what it does. It promotes collagen synthesis, supports tissue remodeling, reduces inflammation, enhances cellular repair across multiple tissue types. A 2024 study in the International Journal of Molecular Sciences examined GHK-Cu effects on stem cell differentiation and tissue regeneration. The findings showed applications well beyond surface wound healing, bone repair, muscle tissue, connective tissue. All show response. It also supports immune function directly. Faster tissue repair requires a functioning immune system. GHK-Cu addresses both simultaneously. The delivery method is simple. Subcutaneous injection, low dose, short cycles. 3 compounds now: BPC 157, TB 500, GHK-Cu. Together, they target every stage of the healing cascade. Inflammation control, blood vessel growth, cell migration, collagen synthesis, tissue remodeling. That is a complete injury repair protocol. How growth hormone speeds healing. Injury repair and performance optimization are different goals, but they overlap in one area: growth hormone. GH accelerates tissue repair, supports collagen production, enhances protein synthesis, reduces body fat, improves sleep quality, all of which directly impact recovery capacity. The best performance stack is CJC-1295 and ipamorelin. CJC-1295 stimulates your pituitary to release more growth hormone. One injection stays active for 6 to 8 days. Published clinical data shows it raises IGF-1 levels 1.5 to 3 times above baseline for up to 11 days from a single dose. Ipamorelin amplifies the pulse, triggers a sharp, clean release of growth hormone. No cortisol spike and prolactin increase. Selective, precise. Together, they produce 3 to 5 times more growth hormone than either compound alone. The result for performance: faster recovery between sessions, less body fat, more muscle repair, better sleep, improved connective tissue health. The result for injury: IGF-1 supports muscle fiber repair, improves protein synthesis, enhances the body's capacity for tissue regeneration. Protocol: 5 days on, 2 days off, right before bed, fasted state only, 8 to 12 week cycle maximum, performance and injury repair addressed together. What happens when IGF-1 goes too high? Nobody talks about this, and that is exactly the problem. IGF-1 has a Goldilocks zone. Too low, poor recovery, muscle loss, slower healing. Too high, serious risks. The safe range is approximately 100 to 250 nanograms per milliliter, but it depends on age, depends on health status, depends on the individual. Here is the risk nobody wants to discuss. IGF-1 promotes cellular replication. That is how muscle grows. That same mechanism can accelerate the growth of precancerous cells that already exist in the body. One documented case: a patient on BPC 157 and TB 500 for several months. No growth hormone peptides. IGF-1 came back at 400, far above the safe range. A level associated with active tumor risk. It works. That is not the debate. The risk is equally undeniable. Get blood work done before starting. Monitor IGF-1 every 3 months during use. Know your baseline. Know your range. Optimization without monitoring is not optimization. It is gambling. Is this even legal? Once you understand this, you cannot unsee it. In 2023, the FDA classified BPC 157 as a Category 2 bulk drug substance. That means commercial pharmaceutical companies cannot compound it. It is not a DEA-scheduled substance. Possession is not illegal. But the regulatory gray area is real and shifting. Many performance peptides are sold as research chemicals online. Quality is completely inconsistent. Contamination is possible. Mislabeling happens regularly. A 2025 publication in the Arthroscopy Journal described injectable peptides as unregulated yet readily available for purchase online. The authors, orthopedic surgeons, noted scarce clinical literature while acknowledging exponential growth in use. That is the honest picture from published medical literature. The compounds are real. The mechanisms are documented. The human clinical data is still limited. Source from licensed compounding pharmacies where legally accessible. Work with a physician. Get regular blood work. Monitor your own data. That is responsible use. Everything else is a risk you are taking alone. That is everything you need to know. Real research, real answers. Like this video. Share it with someone who needs it. Comment below. I read everyone. Subscribe. More straight facts coming every week.